Okay, it's finished. All done. I'll take the camera over there in just a second and show you guys. The rest of this video is just me kind of finishing up, and there's a special little thing in here about the luminaire that I have. Maybe Terry Maffett has done it on her channel. I show how to project your embroidery image onto the fabric and then move it around so that it is perfectly placed. It's a very cool feature of the luminaire. One of the main reasons I wanted that machine. And I also want to let you know, good news for those of you who purchased the SVG file. I spent half an hour on the phone today with the digital engineer for Urban Elements, and she and I played around on the computer together and were able to figure out exactly what you need to do in order to be able to use the file, the SVG file, so that you don't even really have to do any scanning. Essentially, you'll just take the SVG file, upload it into Canvas, resize it to the right size. You'll keep the part you need, delete the part you don't need, save that file, and you'll continue that process until you have them all done. And then you can download them into FCM. I will demo how to do that process with the SVG file at the end of this video. Jessica sent me the file, and then I'm going to do a step-by-step how-to show you how to do that. They're a good company, and they took good care of my viewers, and they were watching. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Jessica from Urban Elements. This process that we went through is going to have them change their business plan so that they now will include the full size of the file when you get it, and that way you'll know how much to enlarge it to. So, you know, it's a good thing that we went through this. Sometimes there's growing pains, but I really think that they did a good job to take care of all of you. Someone had made a comment on yesterday's video that they did not know how to use the snowmen. So the snowmen are a positioning system sticker that is made by Brother. It is a special kind of ink that the Brother and Baby Lock embroidery machines can see with their camera system. I've tried to make a copy and make my own, and it doesn't work. So how you use these is, they call them a snowman because it's, you know, two circles, the top one a little bit smaller than the middle one, but essentially it's a crosshair, and the dot in the middle of the belly button dot there, corresponds to the center of a design. And the way I would use a snowman is to look at my pattern, and I know that there is 2 inches between the center of the top of this sock and the edge of the leg. And so I would want to measure 2 inches to right here. So I'm going to put my little ruler here, and here is 2 inches. And so I'm just going to slide my pattern over until my paper pattern, until I can tell that both legs are covered. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit right there. Okay. So now this is properly positioned. The paper diagram is properly positioned on the legs of the bird. That's exact. That works. Now also, not just vertically, okay, you also need to make sure that it's right. You know, you don't want it all wonky. So I want to make sure that there is a little bit of sock that's going to be on either side of the leg on both of these, and this is right. So I'm going to tape the paper pattern to the bird. Now, I want the snowman, I want the belly button of the snowman to be exactly on this crosshair right here. And the way to do that is I will fold it up, and I can see when I fold up the paper There's the center right there. So I would take a snowman sticker and I'm going to put it, because it's not wonky either way, I'm going to slip the top half of this underneath. I'll put the belly button right on that center crosshair. I'll make the horizontal lines perfect with the edge of the paper. And then I can remove this. So now I know that this is the exact center of this design. So once you have that figured out, you want to put that exact center of the design into the center of the hoop. So when you take your background fabric to the machine and load your hoop in, you would go to Embroidery. The memory is the pocket, and we'll touch the symbol for USB, and here are his legs right here. It says the pattern extends outside of the embroidery frame. That's because the pattern, for whatever reason, looks like it's horizontal. We're going to change it. I have a 90-degree button right here. That's upside down. That's okay. I'm going to tell it set. And I'm going to go into Embroidery. And I'm going to go to Layout. And I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. There we go. Even though it went 180, it knows it won't fit at 90. So now, where this crosshair is center of the design, but I want to make sure of that. So I'm going to hit OK. In this layout menu, there's your snowman. And if you touch that, tell it OK, it says remove the embroidery positioning mark. Now is when I will rotate 90 degrees. I don't think that's going to work. So, if I don't think that's going to work, here comes the beauty of the luminaire. I'm going to hit this cone. It is displaying where everything is going to land. So, what I want to do now, I want to, let me come over here so you can see. See that red box? I'm going to pull it up to the top, and as I pull it up, I need to move. As I pull it up, it's going to move the hoop. So I'm going to grab the box and pull it up to the top. Whoop, too far. All right. Now let's look. See that? I need to move it to my left a little bit, and I think that's it. Maybe bring it down one little notch. Let me see. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to move it to the left. Another one. Watch what happens here as I touch that. Okay, so this leg is fully covered. This one needs to be over just a little bit more. That will cover the end of that, so his sock will be fully over his leg. I think that's okay. I'm probably not going to get any better than that. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. See? That's the beauty of the luminaire. The Solaris does it too. The Baby Lock Solaris does it too. Oh, you guys, I love it. Okay, I'm all done. I'm going to put the camera up. I'm going to tell it okay. I ended up not needing the snowman this time because what I did was I positioned it using the luminaire. I'm ready to go. Tell it okay. I like to do this on the needle plus minus so I can see what's first. Okay, because this is a big design, I'm going to iron it on my ironing board, and I only want to go to the ironing board once. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm in the needle plus minus menu here. If I hit OK, It's on the bottom. There's a needle plus minus. I like to work in that mode right there. And let me get you in here. So we're on the first stitch. Well, it says this second one. I'm going to jump ahead. There is the, that is the blanket stitch on that leg. I'm going to jump ahead one more. And now I'm going to do the outline for the second leg. Okay, now I'm going to take it to the ironing board and iron both legs on at the same time. Now, what I'm going to do on the needle plus minus menu is I'm going to go back. You can do this on every machine, regardless of brand. I just prefer to work in this particular mode. Okay, so there is the blanket stitch for the left leg, or the bird's right leg, or somebody's leg. Okay. And now I'm going to jump ahead to the blanket stitch for that leg. There we go. Okay, we're all finished with his legs. All right, I got all of this. Look at him. He's fabulous. Love it. To do wishes, my letters, because we're in the home stretch here, I used a blue water-soluble marker to mark center of the legs, and I know that that'll fit. I printed it out and trimmed it, and I put the crosshair straight on the line and kind of figured out where I wanted it and folded it up. And then I put my snowman sticker right there, so that's dead center of the design. So that will stitch out right there. Here we go, all finished. You guys, this took a total of 6 minutes. I wouldn't be done with the second letter yet if it was up to me to have to be sewing this with a regular sewing machine. I just had a little bit of fabric fray on the eye. I don't know why. Everything else came out just fine. And I really like it. A little one right there. I'll have to take the trimmers to these. Can you see this? Look how good that looks. Isn't that just amazing? And I did it all myself. Let me take this up there so you can take a look at Mr. Warmest Wishes. His Warmest is a little kind of tilted. Maybe I'll put a pina colada there by his wing and that'll explain that. Oh, let me show you. There he is. He came out great. I'm very, very pleased with how this came out. It was a lot of work. Yep, a lot of work. So this was a very advanced project, and for those of you who are doing it, bravo, good for you. The entire point is to have you guys look at applique a completely different way now. So when you get a little book like this, you know, I've got 52 playful pot holders to applique. This is so easy to do when you get into there and you'll be like, okay, I'm ready to make the ladybug. Scan it in, cut out your pieces, download the FCM, put it into Simply Applique, send it to the embroidery machine, and you're off and running. It just changes everything. So I find it a lot of fun. I know some of you are like, no way, I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, and that's okay too. But when you look at it this way, you have to trace onto the heat and bond anyway, so why not scan it? And you have to cut them out anyway once you do the tack down stitch, so why not pre-cut your pieces? And you have to stitch it down anyway with a sewing machine, so why not take half that time and put that into Simply Applique and then let the embroidery machine do it for you. Okay, so this has been a lot of fun. we're going to get back into our regular tutorials and quilt chats and all that other stuff. So thank you everybody who went through this with me, and if you haven't had a chance to get to it yet, I hope you do. All right, you guys, we will talk to you soon. Go sew something. In order to use the SVG file from Urban Elements on this project, you would come over here to New, and you need to be in the Canvas workspace. You can do it on the downloaded version, but I'm going to show the online version, and that way it seems that it's a lot easier to be able to do that. So we need to import SVG. We're going to click here on the SVG button and choose the file. I have it in my downloads, the Warmest Wishes cut file. I'm going to click open and click OK. And this is what's been happening, is that it reduces to a size that it all fits on the mat. Well, that's not what we need. So the size of this file needs to be in width 15.15. And the way you need to do this is put your cursor up in the top of the mat and drag it all the way down to highlight everything, and then right click on it and go to group. So now it is one object, and then see these numbers down here? It's 11.72 and by 5.10. Well, we want this 5.10 to be as close to 15.15 that we can get. If you simply come here to the properties and try to put it in and go 15.15, when you hit enter, 10.28 is as large as it goes. It won't allow it to go any bigger doing it in numbers like that. But if you grab the corner up here and pull and make it bigger, and then you can scroll around and you can make this, watch the numbers go up at the bottom, and we want, I think 15.14 is as big as I can get it. After that it jumps to another number. See, it goes too big. So 15.14 is as big as mine will let me get it. Now it's in the right size. This is what it needs to be so that it matches the paper pattern. And what you need to do now is save the file. So come up here to Project, and you want to click this inbox with an arrow with a plus sign, and that's Save as Another Project. I'm going to just hit it, and it has saved it, and it doesn't give you a chance to rename it or anything, and that's okay. So just click OK. So now when you go to My Projects, there it is right there. And it brings it back up. So let me go to New. You go to New by clicking this new mat with the plus sign right here. So now when I go to My Projects, you want to do that in the beginning so you always have the bird in the right size. Click that. There he is. Now, in order to be able to turn these into individual cut files and individual files for you to be able to download as FCM into simply Applique, you want to click on it and right click and ungroup. And now you just need to, like I had showed before, where you want to highlight those things that you want. Like I want, let me see, I want this sock. Hold the shift key and click each object. So now only the socks are highlighted. Okay, I'm going to right click, group the socks. I'm going to pull them off the mat, and then there's another line of it right there. Don't worry about those. You only need one. So then you would highlight everything else and hit delete. Whatever is left, hit delete. Now, if you go to download it and it says that it can't be downloaded because the object's too big or something, check and see if there's something that is still off the mat that needs to be made go away. So I'm going to take all of this and delete. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this and put it on the map. I'm using this one because it's a little tall and I want to show you. I'm going to right click, ungroup. I'm going to move this guy. This is how I did it on mine to cut them out of the same piece of fabric. You can either group your stuff by the color of fabric that you're going to cut, or you can group your stuff by how it's going to be stitched out. I'm going to do this and bring him over here. There. Go to project, create a new save. Save as another project. And it says it's complete. So now it is here. That's one I was playing with before. If I refresh it, they'll pop up again. There they are right there. So now I would want to go download. And there is my FCM and the scan and cut transfer. And you're good to go.